Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company Sunday service here on a Sunday.
I don't know if it's me, but have you had any problems with the introductory titles from your end?
Well, what happened?
Because this is the second time on the trot now where it's been very broken and disjointed and laggy and...
Oh, fine here.
All right. Well, it might be just my end, but it's the second. It happened a lot on Wednesday as well. But hey ho, what other people think. But there you go.
I will check the recording afterwards, which is actually a very good segue because almost as if you planned that. Because one of the slight change, folks, to the way we're doing things on this show now, because we will continue to be live streaming on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. But we are going to be keeping the recordings only on YouTube in future for the simple reason that it kind of drives traffic to YouTube, but also the YouTube stream is the high definition stream. So that's the one with the best quality. So you'll still be able to watch it live on your favorite platform. But when it comes to the actual recordings, they're only going to be saved on YouTube now. So opinions.
Well, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's the highest quality way of people being able to catch up. And you know, whilst you quite often get people saying, I don't use Twitter or I don't use Facebook, just about everybody uses YouTube in one way or another, don't they? So it kind of it makes absolute sense to me. So
so that's what we'll be doing. So, you know, like I say, you'll still be able to watch it live everywhere. So, you know, that's a little change we're going to be doing. And also that's also because I'm in the process of editing down some short pre-record videos, which are also going to be going up there as well. So just finding the time to do it.
Just trying to drive traffic to YouTube.
Yep. So anyway, we haven't got any news for you tonight because the modelling world has been news bereft this week. Although I did see something about Border Hobby doing a Japanese tank of sorts, but can I find the link for it? No.
Is it a modern Japanese World War II?
World War
II.
Right. I'm sure somebody here will.
I mean, we're very much moving into a bit where it's just rumours, aren't we? You know, it's like, you know, the rumour but confirmed, or is it? Or I think it is that Great Wall Hobby are doing 148 scale A10s. I heard the other day, but I've seen nothing. Seen nothing anywhere that confirms it. But you know, by the same token, it's the sort of thing that would absolutely happen. So, you know, I'm sort
of sorry, Joe,
keeping my powder dry until there's some confirmation. But likely they're you know, likely there'll be more 48 scale A10s on the way.
Joe Pestaglici says a Japanese tiger. That's it. That's what I thought I saw.
No, really? So it's not really a Japanese tank.
Well, you carry on talking. I'm going to go on Facebook and see if I can find it again. It was.
Well, I'm going to pass my. I'm going to share my personal news then.
Oh, go on.
I'm getting married. I've never. No, I'm not. That's a lie. So people who, in a way, people who know me know that I have two cats that live with me. One's Fred the Ginger, who is colloquially known as not my cat, because he's not my cat. He belongs to the people opposite. But earlier this week, or I should say on Friday, I had cause to take Fred to the vets as an emergency for an abscess on the side of his head, and having had that dealt with, I went to have another chat with his owners, and the actual people who who he's registered to and all the rest of it. And after a discussion, it's been decided that Fred is now officially my cat. So whilst Fred selected me as his human many years ago,
as your human pet, yeah,
selected me to be his human, I've now been selected, or he's now been selected to be my cat. So this here is Fred, currently recovering from an abscess on the side of his head, and this is now my cat.
Which is excellent because one of the things that we've been told also drives up traffic on YouTube is cats. So yeah, that's good. That's the cat. Right, hang about. Let me just tick that off the list. Cat content done. Brilliant.
Whilst I know it's a lot of people don't get soppy about that sort of thing, I'm really very, very happy indeed to say that this is now Fred Manton.
Fred Manton.
There you go. Joe beat me to it by about a quarter of a second there. So yeah, this is Fred, and Fred is now. We are now
a couple.
Each other's. Yeah, we are now a couple.
Right. Well, staying with the feline theme. Goodness me, this almost feels like it's scripted, but it isn't, because you couldn't script it this badly. Is also staying on a feline theme. I have found it, and it's a limited release from Border, and it's going to be indeed a Japanese tiger.
Right.
Okay. I saw it, and I literally only glanced at it before the show, and I thought, oh, it's another one of these kind of Japanese World War II tanks, possibly one that never actually entered service. I mean, they're doing a Japanese tiger.
Well, they're right. They're right in as much as it's a tank that never entered service. So,
well, you know what I mean. So it comes with a figure as well. And apparently this is fern leaves as well. Can't tell you what fern leaves they are, but they're not English ones. And yeah, there we go. So a Japanese tiger from Border. Now, I will profess my ignorance here because I've not had time to research this tonight. I don't know whether the Japanese actually trialed one or not, or whether this.
As far as I'm aware, no. This is as far as I'm aware, this is a pure flight of fancy.
Right. Okay.
Although I quite like the box art, I have to say, I quite like the tropical, a tiger in tropical climes. It kind of fits, I suppose. I like it. Let's put it this way: I'm more interested in building that than I am a German one. Although the camouflage isn't much different, is it?
I was just going to say the camouflage really isn't that much different. But I'm just gonna Google here Japanese Army. Oops, that's not how you spell army. Tiger tank. Let's just be a little bit clear. And do you know what? Do you know what? They did have one.
Oh, did they?
You did. I'm just going to quickly. This is on the World of Tanks website, and apparently, I'm assuming this isn't World of Tanks making things up, but they've got here a propaganda photograph showing Japanese officers manning a Tiger tank from the book Germanist Tiger Tanks by T. Gents and H. Doyle. So,
okay.
I'm just going to open image in new tab just to show you. I think we can probably just briefly get away with showing you the picture so that we don't violate anybody's. Well, we've given accreditation there to where it's come from. So bear with. Share screen, Chrome tab. There we go. So there we go. They did actually trial a tiger.
Now, my next question would be, did they trial a tiger in Japan or did they travel to Germany to trial it? That would be...
No idea. But...
Well, yeah,
there we go.
Yep. Interesting.
I'm picking up a bit of an echo here, so I'm just going to... It could be because I've got this window open and that can throw things off a bit. But yeah, so there you go. Border model, 35th scale, Japanese tiger tank. Make of that what you will.
Yeah. Well, you've got more information on that than I have on the A10s. So, did go to Yeovil Model Show today.
Did Paul get his
yes,
MiG-25?
Paul wasn't there, but somebody came and picked it up for Paul. So Paul will be getting his MiG-25 during the week.
Excellent.
But it was good to a few people coming up and saying thank you for the show to you and I, and saying they really enjoy it every week and stuff like that. So that's
what's wrong with them.
Well, you know, I was suitably self-deprecating as a response, because that's what we do. But it's nice to have people come and tell you that they're enjoying what you're doing. It kind of it's a little bit of
reinforcement.
Yeah, a little bit of reinforcement. A little bit of validation, if you like, that what we're doing is being seen.
Yes.
And being enjoyed, especially as it's, that everybody made reference to how different we are to the other channels, shall we say, in terms of our approach.
Certainly less professional for a start. So there
well,
we go.
Absolutely. But if people are seeing that and they're responding to it, then that's that's good. It's good to see. I mean, I met Kat Ludwell and her partner. Today, and like I say, 3 or 4 others came up and expressed enthusiasm for what we do. So that's
thank you, folks. We do appreciate it. I mean, honestly, we even if we had an audience of 1, we'd still probably be doing this, because it's it's a way for us to articulate our feelings on the hobby. And also sometimes actually getting on with some modelling. So,
yeah. A lot of people would say what they like is the kind of the depth and breadth of knowledge that they get coming here from you, Spencer, and I, and people in the comments as well.
Yeah,
it's there's an awful lot of knowledge here that people enjoy. They enjoy the history side of it as much as we do, shall we say?
Well, on the history side of things, we will be, although we will do our Arma April #Arma April updates in a second. But one of the things, even though we haven't actually got round to finishing Arma April, we're not even a third of the way through it. I have already started kind of thinking, what are we going to follow it up with? Well, we've got 2 things we're going to follow it up with next month. There's no respite. Next month, it's going to be Matchbox May. Of course, it's going to be Matchbox May. And we're going to have one of the shows, we're going to be probably doing our individual top 10 Matchbox box arts. Well, I think what we could probably do is probably pull our top 10, see how they all match, and then we'll do a top 10 from that, if you see what I mean. Like a consensus top 10. But yeah, we'll be talking Matchbox, i.e. the greatest model kit company ever. And we'll be doing that. And then in August, goodness me, we'll be doing Airfix August.
Oh, will we?
We will be doing Airfix. Well, simply because I can't think of any
model companies. Discussing that.
Sorry?
I don't remember discussing that.
I discussed it with Dale from Airfix. So
okay.
So we will be doing Airfix August. But just I can't think of any model companies that begin with J's.
I must go about getting a Vulcan then.
Johan, that's about it, isn't it, really?
Johan, yeah. Well, Johan Olivier June.
Yeah. No, but there's only one model company that begins with a J, and that's Johan or Johan in the States, as was. Well, they're probably still going, actually. So no, that's it. So then then obviously we could really kind of like push the limit and see what we could do for September, October, November, and December. But I think Airfix April is about as far as we're going to go this month with alliterations.
Airfix August.
What did I say? Airfix April. I know. I got a touch of the sun. That's why. So I was outside today enjoying the spring/summer/winter/autumnal weather that pretty much passed by in about an hour.
I see Brian there suggesting we have mini art every month.
Well, we always have mini art every month. It's mini art year. So and we will at some stage we will be we can't do a month, but what we will be doing at some stage is we'll be doing our Whimsy builds, because our Whimsy order is currently en route from Ukraine, which by itself is a miracle and a testament to the human spirit. That's remarkable.
I'm seeing an awful lot of stuff. An awful lot of people is having stuff turn up from Ukraine now. So the Ukrainians, bless them, have just went, you know what? Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm fairly certain, David, there will never be a Mac 2 May.
No, there won't be a Mac 2 May, and there won't be a Whimsy Woolly either. But Paddy Modeler says the Whimsy 109 is a masterpiece. Well, Drew's getting the Whimsy, he's getting the Whimsy. He's getting the 109. I'm getting the Mitsubishi Claude. So, because I love the Claude, I think it's a fabulous looking aeroplane. I've got the Hobby Boss.
My interest in Japanese stuff of that period has been reignited over the last month, hasn't it? So, I very nearly bought a Fine Molds 148 scale Judy today. I just managed to resist. In fact, I didn't buy. My total purchases for the day were 1 cup of black coffee and a piece of chocolate brownie. So that was my total purchases for the day. Talking of the model show today, I did get past a flyer, and I'll switch to, if I can move my cat. A new model shop is opening in Somerset.
Oh!
In the Ilton Business Park in Ilminster, which is about 15 miles from where I live, so about a 25-minute drive, just off of the Ilminster bypass towards Taunton. On the 7th of May, as you can see there, in the Ilton Business Park, the scale model shed is opening.
Oh.
So, and as you can see, there's a collection of some of the brands that he'll be stocking at the bottom there, including SMS, Mr. Hobby, and Ammo. So, I'll certainly, very soon after it opens, I will be taking a trip out there to see what gives, and hopefully put a bit of my put a bit of coin their way, shall we say.
We are ridiculously overstuffed for model shops in the southwest, aren't we?
It's been a long time coming, hasn't it? So, we went through sort of a couple of decades where there was nothing, didn't we? And of recent, we've had a positive, renaissance in what they call bricks and mortar model shops. It's notable that in the same way as Jadlam, this isn't in a town centre. This is on a business park, which is just it kind of reinforces the financial aspects of running a business like this. That it makes more sense to do it from this sort of premise these days than it does a town centre. So look out for hopefully a review of this place shortly after it opens.
Excellent.
And I think I'm right in saying I've seen some of the videos. It's a guy who's actually got a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Scale Model Shed. So I think somebody said to me today he decided to set this shop up with his father. So they're going for it. The only thing you can wish them is the very, very best of luck. And encourage people to go and spend money there to keep them in business.
Yeah. Paul Cave's very excited. Scale Model Shed, exclamation mark, get in. Well, obviously, Paul, I think, Paul, if you tripped over a piece of curbing, you probably land in the model shop because it's that close to you. So,
as Steve Moores says, cheaper rent. Yeah, it's exactly it. It allows people to, and people, town centres are far less centres of the community than they used to be. So, whether you think that's a good thing or a bad thing, is another discussion. But if it's allowing people to open, bricks and mortar hobby shops that we can get to with very little trouble, and I know one of the local model clubs that I mean, I've been a member of it in the past. I'm not currently, but he's Andy, is it Scale Model Shed? Yeah, he's actually offered them the shop as a venue for their club meetings,
which is good.
Which is good. Although a few of the people I spoke to about it were a little bit, oh no, it's going to cost me a bomb, isn't it? It's like, I'm sure it works. Yeah, it works all ways. You know, we've all said if you put a coffee machine and a drinks machine in a model shop, you got an instant social hub, haven't you?
Well, do you know what? I'm going to try and find the picture when we go to your camera. I'm going to try and find the picture, but that was I don't think it's not a cafe at the moment, but there used to be a cafe right opposite Through Model Centre, and it was a succession of cafes down the years. But it was always an utter delight to just rock up, park up, pop over, have a cup of tea in the cafe, and just kind of like plan your day, and then walk the 10 feet over the road to the model shop. And I mean,
there's a kind of a long-term sort of connection between cafes and model shops, because for many years, one of the best model shops in the Southwest was Model Kits in Yeovil, run by Bob Banfield, who I saw today and said hello to today. Now they disappeared in about 1992. Ultimately, that shop finally closed. But that had been a cafe, a tea room, before I believe Bob had approached his father about converting it into a model shop because of his hobby. And that model shop stayed for about 25 years there, after it had been an actual tea room. In fact, I think at one point it was upstairs tea room and downstairs model shop. So, yes.
That's from 2011. Would you believe that was 11 years ago? I know, Lordy. But I think it's more. I think it's like an antique shop now or something. But but obviously the model shop's still there, which is splendid. But yeah, I used to love trips there and just pop in and have a cup of tea, and then you just that kind of like checking your shopping list before you go over there and get bits and pieces.
Well, I can remember sitting there with you, Spencer. Liz was there as well, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I sat there after we'd been shopping, looking at our purchases and drinking tea and eating the inevitable cake. So
yes. Sadly, no news yet on whether anybody's going to take over the settle in Frome. I'm just double checking, but from what I've heard, it still hasn't been picked up yet.
I've heard it had been, but obviously not.
Oh, right, okay.
I can't remember where I heard, but I heard from somewhere that it had been, but whether that's just me filling in some mental blanks or not, I don't know. But
what do you do on Sunday? Well, tune in and watch this modelling show, but all they talked about was cats, then cafes, and
cats. Well, no, hang on. There's a new model shop that we're discussing.
Discussing a model shop, yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, shortly after it opens, I'll hope to pop over there and meet Andy and the team and say hello and introduce ourselves. So look, stay tuned. But it does sort of point to what we previously discussed about lockdown being good for the hobby.
Yeah,
it created a kind of a bit of a surge in interest in the hobby, didn't it? And quite the opposite of what we were expecting to happen. All the people we've spoken to in the business have said it's just been, we haven't been able to keep up.
No,
it's just millions of people have discovered the hobby because they were locked down. They needed something to do. And if only a small percentage of those stay in the hobby afterwards.
Yeah, this is the good thing is that actually a fair few have actually kind of gone, yeah, I miss this hobby. This is great, and you're always going to have people. We've talked about this before. Is that in the hobby market is like it's literally like a tide. People wash in. Some people like it and go, oh, I'm going to hang around and build more models. A lot of people just wash back out again. But you just have that. It's just really the
You're
sheer.
You're, aren't you?
Sorry.
You're going to make a rush analogy here.
I'm going to make a rush analogy in a minute.
I saw that coming a mile away.
Yeah, but it is a true rush analogy, because the point I always make to people is that you just have those people who wash in, engage with the hobby, and then a lot of them just drift out again. You know, they're taken away with the tide. It is vast numbers of people. You see, it's huge numbers of people. You know, that kind of engage with the hobby and then disengage with the hobby. There's us in the rock pools, and we think that the rock pool is the entire universe, and it's like, no, it's not. It's, you know, as the lyric goes, Drew, how does the lyric go?
Living in their pools, they soon forget
about the sea. Exactly. Yeah. And it's Neil Peart, rather, you know, modeler. He knew what he was talking about.
Yeah.
That is a song about modeling, because there is a line in there that says something about causes can't see their airfix. And yeah, so shall we get on with Can we get on with Arma April? Where are we with Arma April at the moment?
Where are we with Arma? Well, me, the Wildcat is now all the base colours are on and weathered in, and I've sprayed the national insignia on it over the last day or so. Had some paint pull up on the rear fuselage, which I haven't had for many years.
What?
Yeah, I know.
What?
Yeah, I had a little bit of paint pull up around the back of the bar here, which I then had to repaint and touch in. But generally, yeah, as you can see, it's you can't really see, but there's a lot of weathering and fading and stuff gone into the underside and the top side. So it'll be kind of washes. There's some other stuff to paint yet, and then some washes and glossing, and then a few markings that are going to be put on it. And then really we're kind of on the home straight. But that's about a week's 5 or 6 days worth of work so far, isn't it? So and you know, everything you hear about Arma kits is true of this one. It's just absolutely, it's just wonderful, isn't it? It's absolutely wonderful. So yeah, that's where I am with the Wildcat. So over to you.
Well, I am a one-lane motorway. No, I'm not. Here we go. Right. We've had progress here as well. And I got around to doing the interiors for the cockpit, which was, this is all Mr. Colour paint. Oh, sorry, the Tamiya flat aluminium for the aluminium, but this is Mr. Colour for the zinc chromate and the cockpit green. Then I've touched in some of the boxes there with some Vallejo model colour matte black, although that matte black seems to be a bit shiny. Despite the fact that bottle has been well shaken and it's been put in my Robard paint shaker, it's still come out a little bit shiny. I'm not going to worry about that because it's going to have decals on it. I'm fairly optimistic with. I admire Arma's optimism that they expect you. We're going to zoom in here. We're going to do a. Arma expect you to put a decal on that item there.
I managed it.
Okay, fair enough. That's fair enough. It's very small, but yeah. Other than that, I finally got the zoom sorted out on this. So yeah, we've got that done. So the next stage for this is to put the decals on the placards on the cockpit. Actually, no, the next stage is to wash the do some washes, because I prefer to do washes, then put the decals on. And then that'll be it. We will be rapidly heading towards closing this up, probably tomorrow night-ish, hopefully. I've still got the oops daisy. I've still got the seat. I've just broken the end of the oxygen hose off as well. Well done. Live on the internet. I've still got the seat straps to do, and I don't know whether I'm going to use the photo etch or just use the decals. I'll see what kind of lazy mood I'm in. But I've still got some little bits of detail painting to do on that, and do the control column and everything. And the wings, I think I can pretty much start closing the wings up now, because we have done the wheel wells, which I'll come to that in a second. So I've got the wheel wells done. I've got the rear spar in all its zinc chromate primer glory. And I've also got that little forward bulkhead there as well. I've got the actuators are all done. So that's, yeah, I think that's kind of close to, that's all washed and everything. So that's close to being done. Now, I was going to nearly did follow Johann's Sterling example by masking all those ribs and everything and painting everything, trying to do it properly. I got bored after about half an hour. So in the end, I just decided to mask these only and then did them in zinc chromate primer. Then when that came off with the same bottle of Mr. Colour, I then just tried hand painting in some of these here. The problem is when you actually stick the wash on, it does tighten them up a bit, but then it tightens them up, but also just kind of like does away with any painting. So to be honest with you, were I to build another one of these, the only thing I do is mask and spray these bits,
right?
And I wouldn't bother with any of this because it's a lot of faff, and the weathering diminishes it anyway. So in my opinion, obviously. So and obviously once you've got the upper wing on, a lot of that's going to disappear anyway. So, but yeah, fabulous fun. Terrific. Really enjoying it. Well, not enjoying that masking. That was an absolute swine, that was. But so we've got the radiator housing is all done now, and I've also some of the washers on that. I should have tied it up immediately, and I didn't, and so now they're going to be there forever. So ha ha ha. And I also masked the little zinc chromite strip on the main gear doors. But the thing about the main gear doors is that I was always under the impression that they remained closed and then only dropped down after a while from gravity kind of kicking in. But you wouldn't want to close these up, would you? Because the details.
No,
so good.
I mean the thing is that those it bled off really quite quickly, and it was part of, I believe, on the B and the D, it was in the same circuit as the flaps, which is why you always see the flaps dropped and the undercarriage doors dropped.
Okay.
It would park with them both up, but they would drop really fairly quickly due to just the pressure bleeding off. So it's good that they're not only they there, but they're that detailed. So
yes. Actually, I am gonna quickly. I know what I can do. I know what you can do. Oh, cotton swab, and that will tidy up that wash beautifully. Yeah, see, you can see. Oops, try to get it on the camera. Yeah, the wash is coming off on that cotton bud. So again, this really isn't going to be seen that much on the model, but I try and be conscientious in these builds. But yeah,
if we're showing off a model we've been sent, we should show off a model.
Yeah, we should show off a model exactly. So, and even if a lot of this detail is ultimately going to disappear, and I think Johann was saying about his that he's just about to close up the fuselage and probably never see any of that detail again. But
Johann's just joined us, by the way. Nice of you to make it. Where have you been?
Yeah, exactly.
Outrageous behaviour.
Yeah, we're making all the effort here, mate. And,
yeah.
Goodness me.
You just show up when you feel like it.
Show up when you feel like it. But yeah, that again, just that detail on that bulkhead is just phenomenal. Yeah, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm gonna have to do a bit of a repair in a second, and yeah.
I have to say, I think Johann volleyed that one quite nicely. Then,
well, what was that then? Anyway, I got to. Without knowing what the comments are, he's busy building. Oh, that's good. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, all right, volleyed nicely.
Yeah,
good to see you today, Tim. By the way,
yeah,
good. And saw Mr. Maunder, and we had a long chat today.
Yeah.
So
it's like I'm having a conversation with the thing from the Addams family here.
What?
All I can see is your hand.
Oh, sorry. Why are you bothered about it? Nobody else wants to see my face. Why would you?
well, I'm just, try and maintain a modicum of professionalism. So yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit. Oh, actually, I've got another part to show you. Hang about. In fact, we'll do a bit of live, model building stuff here. And that was the cockpit floor. Let's get it on camera. And I did actually kind of mask those edges off and then spray the floor black. It's a little bit. I'm going to touch it in with a paintbrush there, just where I masked those edges there, and it's not quite as neat as it could have been. But I did also mask that bit of the well there with some Mascol. Ta-da! There we go.
There you go.
So actually, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Oops, Daisy. Bits of things falling off here. We are going to go and grab my Vallejo surface primer. This lovely olive drab Vallejo. This lovely olive drab color they do, and I'm also going to grab. Here's the bit of cardboard with all the black stuff on it, so that will get a little bit of a dry brushing. Probably some very faint chipping and scuffing on it, but nothing major, because these things, they weren't exactly having boots on them. Let's put it that way. So what I'm going to do here is I've just put a little bit of that lovely Vallejo grey primer, olive drab primer, onto a bit of cardboard here, and then with one of my Amazon 000 paint brushes, which for I don't know how many came in that pack again, about 8 or something for a tenner. I've got to say, I've been using them since the summer, and they are still pulling their weight, which is really quite remarkable for a cheap paintbrush set like that. So it's just a case of touching in this little bit here in olive drab. This will probably take 2 coats, because this is like Model Air primer, so it's quite thin. But because it's quite thin, it actually means it's very nice to brush then. So you get time to work it before it starts drying, and then it levels off. So it's just a case of going in there and touching that little bit in, and then that'll be it. Then we can probably do a little bit of weathering on the cockpit floor, but again, not massive amounts.
Yeah, it was like it was painted as black painted wood, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, let's try and get it on camera, Mock. Come on.
Have a little bit of professionalism here, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Does Magna Carta mean nothing to you? Did she die in vain? There we go. So that's one pass. We'll go in and do another one at some beauty of acrylics, water-based acrylics, is that they will dry within 5 minutes. Well,
you can actually see that drying on camera as you watch it.
Yes. So. Well, literally, folks, welcome to the show. You're watching paint dry. You know what? It's even more bizarre. Once they finished with the cats and the cake, they started going on about watching paint dry. But yeah, you can actually see that. You're actually watching live on the internet paint dry. So that'll be that, and also that little bit there needs touching in with some interior green, probably that little rib there as well.
The thing is, even that olive drab bit I ignored on mine because it's under the seat. So,
oh, that's true. Yeah. Well, I know it's there. It's done. So yeah, I'm probably going to do a little bit of. I need to put a little bit of gloss varnish on this so I can start putting the decals on the instrument panel and some of the radio panels as well. So yeah, it's as you said, Drew, for a 72nd scale kit, this logistically takes its time, because it is so magnificent.
Yeah, the interior is just so complete, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I don't even remember the Tamiya 48 scale kit being as
nowhere near. I mean, it's really not far shy of what you would have got in 32nd scale kits 5-10 years ago.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
This is a level of This is a level of detail. I have to admit, I did see the border model Junkers 87 today on various stands, and I was very tempted more than once, but I just eventually went 35th scale now.
I'm tempted because Andy in Bristol's got the he's got the 109, and I'm tempted simply because it's not something I'm ever going to incorporate, never going to build into a collection, but as a one-off experience, I'm intrigued by it. Let's put it that way. So that's right. I'm just touching in a bit of stuff on this, but I need to touch some bits in on this a little bit closer to me. So, okay, look, paint drying. So I've just gone to a slightly bigger brush this time. This is an O. So I'm now just going to go in and I'm actually going to do these strokes in the opposite direction now. But already that paint has dried sufficiently that the next coat isn't eating into it because it's water. And, it's not. It is a solvent, obviously, because it will thin the paint, but not to the extent that it will actually start eating through the previous coat. And that'll probably do. I'd probably give it one more coat just to be a completist, but and again, live on the internet, you're watching paint dry.
Boom, done.
I know. That's all right. I got me paint jars out of reach. So yeah, there we go. We're just literally look. You can see it's gone. It's done. So yeah, did you use the photo etch bits for the seat straps, or did you use the decals?
Yeah, I'll use the photo etch seat straps.
Yeah. So I've got them here. There, I use that Arma MIG blackening agent just to kind of see what that does. But I should have glued them to the seat first before I painted it. So,
see John Connolly there, guys. Would you say the Arma Wildcat is superior to the Airfix kit with wingfold? I mean, if you want a kit with wingfold, then the Airfix one is the way to go. And I've built the Airfix kit, and I think it's a fine model. But the Arma one coming along, 4 years later, probably even 5 years later, it is a superior tooling without a doubt. It's got more options, and the surface detail is superior. So yeah, if you want a folded wing, then clearly the Airfix kit is the way to go. But otherwise, for my money, the Arma kit is the better model.
I think what I might do for #AirfixAugust is I might actually build one of the Airfix Wildcats, because I haven't built one yet.
It's a nice model. It's a really nice model, actually.
Yeah, and the Wildcat is one of my favourite airplanes. And there are some of the recent ones, the Midway schemes, are actually pretty neat. So yeah, might go for that.
Yeah.
I haven't quite decided what one I'm doing at the moment. Travis Thompson says, I wouldn't mind sticking a wrecked 35th 109 on a truck, deck, or train flat car. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Although Verlinden and the late great Louis Pruneau, they were never too fussy about mixing 32nd scale aircraft with 35th scale armor.
No, it was always close. Excuse me, close enough. Sort of
Anthony Bird says, Burnham Armor Hurricane, I'm amazed at the amount of never to be seen detail these kits have. Just wish I did not have sausage fingers. It's that delicate. Well, Sausage Fingers here has broken a bit of his armor kit tonight, so I shall be doing a bit of repair after the show. And Johan says, ignoring painting parts because they won't be seen as sacrilege. Yeah, pretty much.
Sue me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste time on it. It's like the discussion we had the other week about the Zvezda PE2 kit. 95% of the stuff in the rear cabin of that you could completely ignore, and nobody would ever be any the wiser.
Yeah, but as I say, sometimes because we're building things and we're photographing them, it's sometimes you want to record that part of the journey, even if ultimately it's never going to be seen again.
Well, yeah, I mean, and although conversely, for me, sometimes I want to record how much I didn't do to prove the point I'm making at the end. You know, to prove the point that it really, you know, does make no difference. And as somebody who doesn't particularly enjoy doing interiors anyway, yeah, it's all about it. You know me, it's when I can start waving the airbrush at it at the end. That I really enjoy it. So yeah, being able to ignore large portions of an interior is fine with me.
Incidentally, folks, I still haven't found my ammo ultra glue. I think what's happened is I think it was up here somewhere, and then where I've turned round and the chair has banged into this shelf, it's leapt forward and deposited itself in my rubbish bin.
Is that like that stuff?
Yeah, that's the stuff.
I've got some.
Yeah. I'd almost attempt to say that's probably mine, given how many of my books usually end up being incorporated into your bookcase.
It's brilliant. You should get some.
Have you got any of this? Have you tried any of these yet?
I can't even see what. Oh, dry brush paint.
Yeah. It's actually, look, it's endorsed by Ronnie James Dio, so you know they're good. They're good actually. I really like them, and in fact, that the medium green may make an appearance on the Mustang, because that's what I might do is rather than dry brush, I might actually do a little bit of Spanish highlighting of some of those ribs rather than dry brush.
Yeah. Go all Spanish school on it.
Well, what Spencer was saying the other day about how he was forcing the finish on things, I utterly concur. And you know, I as much as I look at some things and I think, oh, you know, I would never do that. Actually, I'm getting towards the stage now where actually I might do that, because I think as we were,
Spencer and I had the other week about forcing finishes because of the medium they're going to be seen in most often.
Well, also, it's also about getting out your comfort zone. Now, that's a word we use a lot on this show, but I do think there is genuinely something to be said for trying something which, what's the worst thing that can happen? The model doesn't turn out exactly how you wanted it to turn out. So what? You know, if you've there's
always going to be another model.
Yeah, if you've obviously, if you're building a border Lancaster, that's not a model to start experimenting with finishes on. But if you're building something that's relatively cheap and cheerful, or something that's come out of your stash that is fairly expendable, then yeah, I think it's worth it. I mean, to give an example, probably, some of these older Tamiya tank toolings, things like the little Panzer II or the Walker Bulldog, or even the Lee. I've got the Grant up here that I can see it up on the shelf here. It's been in primer these last 2 years because it's being kept for eventually when I go back to doing live demos at shows. I've got a model ready that I can paint. But things like that, they're perfect, because you're looking at tank kits that are about 10, 12 quid. Perfect. Just try ideas out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, is it? No, interesting, Rory there just saying that quite correctly, we're discussing the interiors of stuff. Airfix list the stuff that you can leave out in some kits.
Yes, yeah, they did that with the Wellington, didn't they?
Yeah. And he says the Shackleton as well. Yeah. So there you go. Even even the model manufacturers include it and say, well, if you leave this bit out, nobody's going to know.
Travis says the detail on the Arma kits benefits from a good dry brush. Yeah, I will be giving some of these. It's a lost technique these days, isn't it? But I will be dry brushing. But like I say, on the detail here, these ribs, I might actually just go in there with a slightly paler color and actually kind of brush them, just to force it a bit more rather than dry brush it. But and the good news is I've actually managed to repair. There it is, that oxygen cable thing, whatever it is.
If I'm honest with you, I broke my oxygen hose as well when I was.
Excellent, well done. Lox9 says, "I'll use Borders Lank as my paint mule." I admire your spirit.
That's just boasting, isn't it? Really, that's flex. That's flexing.
That's a good question from John Connolly. He says, guys, do you think 72nd scale is still popular in Europe, or has 48 scale taken over the last few years?
No, I think 72nd scale is still as popular as it ever was in Europe. I think we're seeing so many new manufacturers from, as we've discussed, especially Ukraine. But if you look around, there is an awful lot of 72nd scale stuff from clear prop, Dora wings, model spit, all that, and all those manufacturers are doing 48 scale stuff as well. So I think 48 scale stuff has got more popular. You know, it's always been the prevalent scale in the United States, but I think it's got more popular in Europe. But I still think overall, certainly in sort of like Asia and Europe, 72nd scale is probably still the dominant scale.
I think it's a bit of a split in this country, isn't it? Because I think more modelers in this country have taken on 48 scale, possibly as a result of, you know, more manufacturers doing it.
Yeah,
you go.
Yeah, I mean, I build an awful lot of 48 scale these days. But you know, I still, you know, if forced to make the choice, my heart still lies with 72nd.
But I would make the observation that probably for the casual market, for a lot, as you say, for a lot of the people who wash into the hobby and wash out, probably 72nd scale is still the go-to.
Yeah,
because well, Loxwine makes a point for big bombers. 72nd scale, and obviously 72nd scale, that's where you've got your Lancasters. I don't know, we've got 32nd scale Lancasters. That's where you've got your Shackletons, your Victors, your Vulcans, your Valiants.
2 32nd scale Lancasters. What?
people asked, they got it.
You know, although I have to say that from all the appearances, all the impression I'm getting are that it's been a thoroughly worthwhile investment for both companies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's certainly it's such an iconic subject that the size hasn't put people off buying multiples of them in some cases.
Yeah, but obviously Border, they've picked up on the Wingnut Wings tooling. So, you know, it's, you know, it was Wingnut Wings that did all the R&D on that. And
yeah, I mean, I think, you know, we have to give Border a bit of credit here for completing it, because the tooling was, by all accounts, you know, far from actually in a releasable state when they got hold of it. So, you know, I think they deserve a little bit of credit for having carried it through to a point where it hit the market.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we still do have the Qatari Spitfire to look forward to at some stage.
Yes, yeah. It's supposed to be sort of the fourth quarter of the year, isn't it? Sort of like towards the end of this year.
They're still working. Yeah, obviously they're still working on it, but we're keeping an eye on their Facebook feed, and you know, we are going to see once the kit is out, we're going to see if we can get one of the guys to come on the show and talk about it, because that'll be good. You know, but yeah, that's that will be really interesting to see how that comes out, because we've seen the early CAD designs and some of the renders and everything, and it does look
phenomenal, doesn't it? It looks
absolutely
phenomenal. So it's yeah, it's certainly a kit I will be, even as not a 32nd scale modeler, it's one that could turn my head enough to make me want to have a go.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, talking of our Arma April month we've got here, is also a reminder that our very good friend Jennifer Wright is going to be doing her own project next month, and she's building the Arma P51B/C Mustang. She's doing it as Evelina, but she's doing it in the American scheme. And as I said the other week, that, you know, knowing Jen's doing Evelina in the American scheme, that's great. I'll do it in the Japanese scheme, because you know, there's no point in us both doing the same one, because there's only going to be one winner, and it ain't going to be me. So I'll do the. I was immediately drawn to that Japanese scheme from the outset, anyway, which I know is going to upset people, but I just thought it looked sufficiently weird
I don't think it's going to upset people. It's just it's not to my taste, but it doesn't upset me.
Well, you know what I mean. But yeah, so Jen is going to be doing her Arma 72nd scale build probably starting next month, and you can find Jen's YouTube channel over on, would you believe, you ready for this? You can find it over on YouTube. There's a surprise. Just go to, I know, amazing, isn't it? Just go to youtube.com and then /C and just look for Genesis Designs and Modelcraft and her channel. Oh, I haven't got the picture up. Goodness me. There we go. That's what you're looking for, is Genesis Modelcraft. Oh, let's get the banner up. Come on, man. It's all falling apart now. There we go. That's the banner we're looking for. Genesis Designs and Modelcraft. So that's the address you're looking for on YouTube. But just go into the search tube and you can find Genesis models. And you can also see there some of the other channels that I follow on YouTube, which thankfully they're all legitimate ones, which includes Night Shift, Andy's Hobby Headquarters, Jerry Anderson, John Rain, who does Smirsh Pod. I don't know what Adam Savage. Not sure who Razor 745 was. Industrial Light Magic. All manner of good things there. But yeah, so yeah, Jen's doing her Arma build next month. But yeah, we're cracking on here. And well, actually, this is where, if we could play the gallery music from Vision On, we would, because you know, it would be so apt for this section of the show. But unfortunately, we get another strike notice from YouTube and Facebook and Lord knows who, being tedious about.
Nobody's got a sense of humor about anything anymore.
Well, you know, did you see the other week I did that very brief tribute at the end of one of the shows to Taylor Hawkins? It's literally a fragment of a Foo Fighters song. Oh no, they were on top of me, you know, bang. And, you know, I was just trying to say, look, it is a tribute, for goodness sake. How can you do a tribute to somebody and not include a snatch of the music? Anyway, what did you do on Sunday? Well, it went from cake to cats to paint drying, and then suddenly it was just them ranting away. Unbelievable. But here we go. This is the gallery section. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at all your Arma April builds and some of your other projects as well. So here's Johan and oops, wrong one. Try it again. Here's Johan.
Still the wrong one.
It's still the wrong one. That's the one we're looking for.
No, you're not. There you go.
That's the one.
Hey!
Actually, I wonder if it goes.
It was right to start with.
There we go. That's better. Oh, no, it's not. All these new features on this platform, unbelievable. Yeah, yes, Johan. He says, time to say adios to a substantial amount of detail, never to be seen again. So yeah, this is a familiar story, that, isn't it?
Yeah,
all that lovely detail.
But actually, like I've said repeatedly, once you pass this and you actually get that together, the model will go together very, very quickly. And that is some absolutely superb work, Johan.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. He's wired the radio up.
Yeah,
even I can't be bothered to do that. And some very nice wear on the floor there, where he's actually got the scuffs going straight back through to the wood again. So I didn't think of doing that. I wish I had now.
It's not too late.
I still might steal that idea, actually. Thanks,
Not too late.
Not too late. The thing is, if I procrastinate more on this model, it's going to be Arma. It's going to be Arma August, because I'm not going to get it finished. So, but yeah, there's that's Johann's P51B, Arma P51B. And then we'll scroll down, and we have Mike Williams. He's been building a Tamiya F4, and goodness me, that's glossy, isn't it?
That's very shiny.
It's very, very shiny. And Mike was explaining on this one, he did the trick with the flash coat of putting the colors down. It's a gloss color anyway, but then when it's gone down, it's just giving it a blast of some Mr. Color leveling thinner, and that will reactivate the paint and then level it off again.
Give it a blast of leveling thinner and walk away.
Walk away. Go and put the kettle on, come back, and be amazed at what it can do. And Anthony Bird has he's building a Hurricane. Yeah, he's building the Arma Hurricane here by the looks of things. And I think he's using the Edward detail set on there as well. Good luck to you on that one, because I'm not a big fan of photo etch either. Oh, he's also using the ammo of MIG blue glue there. So
there you go.
There we go. But come on, down we go. But yeah, there we go. Still unsure about the MIG Midnight Blue adhesive. It does show the extent of the adhesive well, but also shows how cack-handed I'm trying to apply it. Yeah, that's why I kind of used Tamiya Extra Thin for the Arma build, and also the
we're all total experts and very precise.
Yeah. No. Andy Brennan, this is his Airfix P51. No, it's not Arma April, but it is. That's the 48 scale P51. Very nicely done, Andy. Andy King. Andy is also doing a Wildcat. He's doing the FM2, and that's where he is with that so far. Absolutely splendid. I've got, whether or not I can cram in another Arma build this month, we'll wait and see. If I get the Mustang together to the stage where I'm waiting for the joins to start drying, I might bang on with either the Hurricane or the Wildcat and have like a secondary one as a backup. But yeah, excellent stuff. It's good to see people building. This is the thing. It's people coming together and building, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
Nick Brown, he said, Well, I had to start a second kit this week due to my 20-year-old compressor giving up the ghost while spraying the Wildcat 6 in its glossy dark blue. So I started the PZL P7A. You can tell the evolution of Arma hobbies by this kit. While not as refined as the latest, such as the Mustangs, it's surprisingly well done for an earlier kitting. At least I can use some spray cans for the interior painting. Yep. Looks like he's used a bit of Tamiya AS12 there. Johan, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, that's his masking for the interior there.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Oh no, that's the backing paper for all the decals for the cockpit.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, for a 72nd scale kit. Yeah, exactly. Here's Danwood. Danwood says his Wildcat / Martlet is coming together, but not without its difficulties. Fuselage went together easily enough, but I had to fill some damage left by the sprue attachments. Yeah, I've got some that I'm going to have to fix on the Mustang. Funny thing is, I've been reading Brett Green's write-up of it in Model Aircraft International. He had to do the same. So I think it's a weird factor of the plastic is that it can be a little bit unforgiving. Drew's going to say.
I will say that, like I say, though, it's in places where you're going to be cleaning up a seam anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yep. Anthony Bird, he says, I do find that peg and slot did not allow fitting these two wheel well parts to join, so I stepped off the peg and all went together without too much value. He's also showing just how small some of that Edward etch is next to a pound coin. Goodness me, a pound coin. Oh, how I aspire to have a pound coin.
Oh,
that'll buy me at least 20 seconds of heating. And Johan also has got his helper there.
That's great. Oh dear.
See, the YouTube algorithms, they like cats, but they also like birds as well. So that's fantastic. Brian Willerton, he says PZL cockpit done, a bit fiddly, but good, with plenty of test fitting. Goodness me. I mean, that's really quite madly complex for a 72nd scale kit, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got one downstairs. I'm like,
I'm really tempted by the Fokker D7 they do. I think Dave started one of those. And there's Anthony. He's well, we're going backwards here, but yeah, he started building his Arma Hurricane there, and Dan doing some stuff on his undercarriage, if you pardon the expression, and Johan wiring his radio boxes just to show the rest of us up, essentially. And there's Anthony choosing his Hurricane. Yeah, we are going kind of slightly backwards here. Paddy Modeler here says the exhaust pipes on the P7A had a rather prominent scene and quite thick sprue gauge. You trying saying that after a cup of tea. Each one needed quite a bit of cleanup. Took up most of the night. No problems though. I still think it's one of the first injection molded kits, so it's to be expected. Everything fits well once sorted. Painting soon. Fabulous. And there's Dan's Wildcat engine. There's Dave Fleming. There we are. The Fokker the Fokker E5 rather. Which that does tickle my interest, that, because I do
it's
like
an attractive little thing, isn't it? It's an attractive little thing.
Only one the sprue as well, which is pretty good going, and a humongous amount of decal
and markings for the combat wing of the RAF.
Yes, very good. Yes. Yes. If people haven't seen that, go to YouTube and YouTube, look up "Crabs Know Your Limits." It's a piece of terrible propaganda put out there by the Royal Navy, but we have to balance that and call it terrible propaganda, because Drew, like me, laughed our socks off because we thought this is all true.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Polish Air Force, the combat wing of the RAF.
No, what was it? They described it as.
It was something like that. It was
it's the Royal Air Force, otherwise known as the Polish Flying Club. There are plenty of careers in the Royal Air Force, like aerial typists. Watch it. Go and watch it, people. It's hilarious. It is absolutely hilarious. Anyway, look, we'll play catch up on the comments. I'm afraid we're going to have to go, but we'll try and do a better gallery next week. Oh, hello. Drew's going to do something on his workbench. No, yeah, that's it. Drive up the numbers. Cat. Excellent.
Cat. There you go.
Yeah,
Cat.
excellent. James Ray says, talking of 70 seconds ago, just got myself a Matchbox Hayford, €15. So that's a result, that is.
You know what? You can find, if you're lucky and you look around, two kits that I always thought were really quite rare, the Stranraer and the Hayford, you can find for good prices if you look around. I ended up, I was looking for a couple of years for Stranraers, and I think I've got 3 of them up in the attic now, and I don't think I paid over about £12 for any of them.
David Mummery says, I also had fun with sprue attachments. Thinking method should be a razor saw prior to cleanup. Yeah. I mean, my Death by cutters are usually very good, but I think on slightly softer plastic, they can just gouge it for some reason. But it's small, first world problems. It's all stuff that'll come out in the wash anyway. So I think, apart from that, I think that's it for tonight, Drew. It's
yes.
Any other business?
Any other business? I did see a comment just up a bit here. Simon Lewis saying, is there any chance for Martin Kovac as a guest? Simon, we would be delighted and honoured to have Martin as a guest, but we've never actually been formally introduced. So
I chat to him, and I have floated it to him, but the problem is Martin is so massively busy with his channel. We'll try. We will try.
If he could, if he could take even a half hour out of his schedule one day, it would be fantastic.
But
I will have another. Obviously, we would be delighted to and honoured to have Martin on.
No, I will have another. I will have another nibble at him, and even if it's just that we just do a short, kind of like half-hour pre-record and then run it during the show. But no, I don't know if I've been following Martin's latest build on Patreon, which is the A7V, and goodness me, the paint job he's done on the interior for that it's phenomenal. It is absolute mad, but it's beautiful, and it's quite interesting. You'll see it eventually when the video comes out, because I think he's about a week behind on his videos at the moment. But when you actually see the paint job he's done, he's managed to get a really good contrast with the parts of the compartment that literally have like 5 or 6 people tromping around in there. And then the forward compartment, because there's fewer people in there, it's actually cleaner. But as he said, as he said, and as we've been saying tonight, last chance to see it, and that's it. Everything's glued together.
So Rory there just saying, how much did we raise for Ukraine? Ukraine, not the Ukraine. I think we topped out
1,650 at the last count.
1,750. 1,650, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm on the wrong page.
Because there was a bunch of stuff that Rory took away from me months ago in a couple of units, and he was bagging it up and selling it today at the show for Ukraine. So I think there's another 25 quid that I'll sort out with Rory to go into the Ukraine fund. So that's technically about 1675 now. So
yeah, it's annoying that you can't you can on Facebook you can only pin one thing at the top of the page at a time. It would be nice to kind of pin a couple of things at the top. But I'm just scrolling down. Oh, it's annoying. It's because the problem is because we're going back a couple of weeks now. It will drop off the radar and it will fall back down the timeline to when it was, which is really irritating. But we'll do a share when I find it. We'll do a share and then we'll let you know what it is. But yeah, it was around 1650, which absolutely phenomenal effort by everybody, because we never in our wildest dreams thought we could even, I say we never thought in our wildest dreams that amount could be raised could be raised full stop, let alone in the short time frame that it was done. So, yet again, big thank you to everybody. I'll find it and I'll post it up, and they'll we'll have a proper update for that. So
from a couple of middle-aged blokes sat around for an afternoon talking rubbish.
Yeah, pretty much. Which, if anybody's ever met us at shows, will know that's exactly what we're
like. That's exactly what we do. With added biscuits.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's it. I haven't got anything else. I haven't got anything else to rant about.
I should say that I'm on lates this week, so I won't be here on.
That's fine.
Wednesday, and next Sunday I will be at the Royal Albert Hall, so I won't be here next Sunday either.
Who are you going to see?
Devin Townsend.
All right.
So going up to Glasgow on Thursday to see Devin Townsend, and then I'm going up to London on Sunday to see Devin Townsend. So
does he know you're coming?
Not yet. It's going to be a surprise.
That'll be a surprise for him. Yeah, Andy King says Facebook is slowly becoming unusable. It is. Sorry, Facebook, but it's really a rotten platform these days.
Oh, it's terrible.
Which is why we're shoving everything to. Which is why we're shoving the recordings to YouTube, because it's, and of all the problems,
it's still the most prevalent social media platform. So
it is. But of all the streaming problems we've had recently, again, it's been Facebook. So anyway, right. So what we'll probably do is I might do a pop-up live Wednesday then, because I will be doing more bits and pieces on this Mustang. Hopefully by then I'll put the decals on and we've closed the fuselage up and stopped making this look like some kind of biblical epic, because it's only a model kit. But it is in some respects, because it is just so epically detailed. So
this is just the film equivalent of chewing on the scenery, isn't it? Get on with it.
Yes, all right. This is like this so far is the longest trailer ever.
Unbelievable.
It's kind of like, we'll get there. We will get there.
No, anyway. Like you say, once you get the fuselage halves together on that, the rest of it just flies together. So
yeah. It's I'm looking forward to it. Like I say, I've enjoyed it. It's been a challenge in some respects, because I don't think I've ever built a 72nd scale aircraft where several like a week in, 10 days in, I still haven't closed the fuselage halves together. I'm literally used with 72nd scale aircraft to popping some bits off the sprue, blasting with an airbrush, do a little bit of detail painting, a little bit of a wash, close it up, and then by the end of night 2, we can start thinking about treating seams. This kind of reminds me of the Accurate Miniatures Avenger, and what a long journey that was to get the interior done.
Yeah, I remember that.
Most of which you didn't see at the end of the day. So
no.
Oh well, never mind. Anyway, look, on that note, big thank you to everybody tuning in tonight. As ever, we appreciate your custom. I'll be back on Wednesday at least. One of us is going to make the effort. So on that note, as always, stay safe. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.